Hi there, it's Sarah from Inspire Tarot. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well today. See what message the Spirit has for us. So the Ten of Wands. So we can see the Ten of Wands is a card about feeling very overburdened and over-responsible and just exhausted. So very heavy energy to start with. So when this card comes out, it's just a reminder that we may need to keep going. And that is the final stretch. And we may be feeling very trapped and resentful and exhausted. Just very heavy. We can see here in this card, this lady looks very defeated. But just a reminder that we need to delegate and work on our priorities, because whenever we've allowed ourselves to get into this state where we feel like we've taken too much on, then we obviously haven't been speaking up. We haven't been attuned to our feelings, and now we're paying the price. So yeah, we're feeling a bit defeated today. Oh, there's two there. Six of Cups and the High Priestess. So the Six of Cups is about the past, about happy memories. And I know with myself, whenever I feel overburdened or like I just want to be on my own, and I notice this with my kids too, all we want to do is curl up on the sofa and maybe watch an old movie or something that kind of reminds us of a time when we felt safe and loved. And the Six of Cups is about happier times and that familiar feeling when we just need to regain our peace and balance. So sometimes we just need to rest and take care of ourselves. And the High Priestess is all about that too, about being aligned with our higher guidance and going within and resting. Really attuning to what we need, because we can see here in this card that she's kind of sat in the lotus position. She's quiet, she's stilled her mind, and she's very focused. She wants to quiet her mind completely, and then the spiritual guidance can come through as intuition. And we're remembering that our divine guidance has never left us, and sometimes we just need to relax and slow down and attune to that kind voice that's going to reassure us and also guide us in what we need to do. If we're feeling overburdened, then that voice inside, the intuition, will help us prioritize what we need to do, and let us know which things we can leave, which things are not important, because we can get frazzled and the ego can kind of drag us here, there and everywhere, and we can get so overwhelmed that we lose sight of what's really important. So yeah, I think these cards are really telling us to take a load off, take some time out to rest and be gentle with ourselves, and then when we feel calm and recovered, just to go into the stillness and hatch a plan in a very gentle but wise kind of way. So the Seven of Pentacles card is a card about being very diligent and understanding that when we think nothing's happening, lots of things are happening behind the scenes, and we can't see them because things are unconscious. We are not able to see the changes that are happening in the unconscious mind. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that they're not happening, and we just need to stay in that faith. We need to surrender and be mindful, and remember that we can't judge our advances from our retreats, and that we're doing well. And these cards are really reminding us to take a step back and rest. So the next card that came out was the Ten of Swords. This is a card where we feel really kind of stabbed in the back. So because I like to look at it as if we're looking at ourselves and not looking at other people, I've studied this in a non-dual way. We need to be looking at the ways that we've betrayed ourselves or backstabbed ourselves or fallen back into feeling like a victim. And remember that we are worthy of change. And by the time we get to the Ten of Swords, we're at the end of the suit. We've kind of hit the hardest part of the cycle. And the next step is freedom and release and back to the Ace. So even though we may feel as if we're kind of struggling uphill at the moment, we can rest assured that we can handle whatever it is that life's throwing at us at the moment, or whatever the ego is throwing at us. More to the point, the ego in the mind that's telling us that there's a problem or that something's going on, and we can get lost in hypotheticals and all sorts of darkness and things. So we just have to remember that to the Holy Spirit, the external world is neutral. It has no meaning. So the ego will use it to wind us up, to make us feel distressed and disturbed, whereas the Spirit wants to reinterpret everything for our healing, and for us to expand our consciousness and return back to the light and experience that wholeness and happiness, and always remember that everything is in divine harmony, and that we can rest in this knowing that really the crazy things in our mind, that all these problems and things that we believe are happening, we can let them go. They're just stories in the mind, and we trust that everything is being worked out for us, and we don't need to worry. So the Page of Wands card is about feeling creative and inspired, and having lots of new ideas. And as I said, after the Ten of Swords comes the Ace, so we need a little bit of time to process whatever's gone through us that felt really difficult and dark. But then the Page is like a young or an innocent, naive energy when it comes to our passion. So we need to find something that we feel passionate or curious about. And I often find that whenever we feel as though we've hit rock bottom, or we feel exhausted, then we always feel as if we're never going to feel great again. But that's never the case. And we do. We never feel stuck forever. We can feel extremely worn down, but it always passes. So we're just remembering that. And the Page of Wands energy is just to remember us that we will feel perky again, and that we just need to process whatever darkness we've got going on, and then try and find something to do that sparks our energy. I know whenever I felt stuck or down, when you feel really blocked, the Spirit kind of asks you, what do you feel inspired to do right now? Sometimes it might be, like the other day, I felt the urge to do some sewing. And then recently I felt the urge to do some gardening. And there's always something that we feel the urge to do, whether we know it or not. I mean, I really love interior design, and I feel myself starting to feel interested in it again, even though I felt like it fell away. But everything is always repurposed by the Spirit. Whatever we love, the Spirit just wants us to feel good. So the Page of Wands energy is all about returning to that curious and passionate part of ourselves. And there'll always be something that we feel inspired by, that's helpful for our healing, that we can start to pursue. It might be something to do with health, or it might be something that we want to study, or we might want to deep clean or spring clean our house, or maybe cook something nice, or buy some new clothes, get a haircut, anything that just kind of peps us up a little bit after we've been going through darkness. The Fool and the Magician. So on this Fool card, we can see that there's lots of different directions to go in. And really all of the directions are the same. We may feel as though they're all different, but really they're all the same. They're all neutral and meaningless, but we need to follow whatever lights us up with an open heart. So this shows us that we're having a new beginning with after whatever it was that was making us feel distressed, that we can soon get back in our right mind and remember that we are the power. The power is within us. And we just need to be resilient, because there's no point letting the ego drag you down, because whenever it does, it's exhausting. It feels really heavy. And we need to get out of it as soon as possible, because whatever we think about, or however we feel, or whatever we're focused on, will magnify. So I do feel as though we need to take a load off with this particular story. Take some time out to rest and process whatever emotions we've got, and then get back into something that lights us up. And remember that we do have this passion within us, and we need to tap into it. And the universe will help us for sure. The Eight of Pentacles. So this is a card about working hard, about being very devoted and consistent with whatever it is we're doing. And anything that we're consistent with in the physical is helpful for our mind. I know when I was training for a marathon, I did actually, even though people would say to me, oh, that's exhausting, I don't know how you do it. It was really, I knew full well that it was really about the mind. It's the mind that keeps the legs going. So the amount of tenacity and resilience that you develop when you train for a marathon, and you just have to take each run as it goes, or each minute, each step as it goes. And sometimes you think, oh, I just want to give up, it's exhausting, I can't do this. But then we've got to remember that this voice in the mind just makes everything really heavy, and that we need to keep going and be really devoted. And remember that every time we give up, it doesn't actually matter if we give up, but it mentally feels as if it's a bit of a setback for us. So if we can just pause and carry on, then I think perseverance has been one of the most important things for me on my spiritual path. So it's just a reminder that you can do it. We can do it. Yeah, keep going. Keep working on whatever you're working on, because it's a beautiful thing. And it doesn't matter so much if it changes in whatever you're doing in form changes, because it's the mind that we're working on at all times. And the mind can't really go backwards in consciousness. We just go deeper and deeper into the unconscious mind until we get to the light. Whoops, the light at the bottom. Okay, so this is the card of Judgment, which is a beautiful card. So this is all about the cycle ending, and the fact that we are redeeming ourselves. We're always rising up. We're always releasing. We're always moving forward in our purpose. And the Judgment card is towards the end of the major arcana. So just a reminder that this cycle, even though it may feel challenging as we end the old cycle and start the new one, that we just need to keep going, because it's all essentially one thing that we're progressing for, which is the healing of our mind. Those two wanted to come out. The Queen of Pentacles and Temperance. Sweet. So the Queen of Pentacles is very grounded. She's very organised, very patient, very consistent, very nurturing, but also very moderate, which kind of ties in with the Temperance card. That it's good to be self-sufficient, it's good to rest, but it's also good to allow ourselves to be nurtured by other people, and just trust and to surrender to the process of the journey, because it is very challenging from our human perspective, and sometimes we just need to rest. We need to be open to new things, but sometimes those new things are just a phase of our life where we need to rest and keep going. And the Temperance card, this reminds me of a little image I saw a long time ago, where it says, when I stop struggling, I float, and it was a lady in water. And this image reminds me of that it's all about balance, and that we are supported, and our mind is always convincing us that we're not supported and that we're out of balance and blah blah blah, but really we can stop and pause and remember that at any moment we are worth this effort. We are worth taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves and being gentle with ourselves, because we do very much feel as though we're still embodied. But when we get into that relaxed and still state, then we remember that we're able to attune more to the spirit within, into that quiet stillness, and just take care of ourselves. So, yeah, that was quite a sweet reading today. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you all. Bye.